Hey guys, Magnus here, bringing you my 2016 timeline. So this video today is a special one, special for New Year's Eve. Of course, Happy New Year, Merry New Year if you want, Happy New Year. If you're watching this in 2017 or if you're watching this in 2016, get ready for New Year. 2016. Some people saying it's the worst year. Beg to differ. I think there's been worse years in history, but whatever. But we'll go for Tapped Out. Was it a good year for Tapped Out, though? Was it the best year for Tapped Out? I would say no. I wouldn't say it was the best year. Is it the worst year? I probably wouldn't say it was the worst year. I'd say maybe the second worst year. I'm not too sure what I'd say was the worst year, but yeah. Anyway, let's go through all the stuff. So we're going to go from January right to December. So the first thing in January, of course, we had Act 3 of the Winter 2016 event. And we also had the New Year's event, which was sort of tagged onto that. We had the Act Maggie special with this. This added characters like Gerald and Link Bouffier and stuff like that, and some cool buildings as well. Really, really cool update. I loved this act as well. It was a great way to, bring us into the new year, and it was a great update to bring us into the new year, and I really enjoyed it. So that one gets a thumbs up. I'll be giving my thumbs up, thumbs down rating. So if I say that this is good or this is bad. Right. Next up, we have the Much Ado About Something episode tie-in. So this was an episode tie-in that was done in January the 13th, 2016. This added Jay, which was I think it's Sanjay's son. Added the Quick and Fresh and the police tank and stuff like that. This gets a thumbs up. It was a great episode tie-in, really cool. Not amazing, but it was damn good anyway. Now we have the Deep Space Homer event. This added stuff like the shuttle hangar, the space training center, the Deep Space Homer, the space shuttle, all that stuff, and astronaut Barney. Now, I'm a bit mixed on this one. I do have some things, but I think overall it does get a thumbs up. It does get a thumbs up in my book. Overall, I think it was pretty good. It wasn't amazing, I know that, but I would say it was pretty good. Next up, we have the Tailgate and daily challenge system update. Now this added the daily challenges in the big box, so we got the big box for free and added us daily challenges. It also added something called the Tailgate for 200 donuts from Gail. I wasn't so happy about that, but the daily challenges overall defeat that, because the daily challenges made it so much easier for people to get donuts now, for people to actually earn donuts instead of having them only be bought through real money. So that gets a thumbs up in my opinion. Next up, we have Valentine's Day 2016. This added two characters, Mona Simpson and Becky. It also added the Coconut Babaloo, the De Crazy Crot, and the Shishi Lounge. Of course, Mod was a prize, and she was free basically, and Becky was premium. I thought this was a good mix, a very sort of mediocre, like a very backgroundy character for premium. I think that's fair enough, and a really, really cool mainstream character, a big character as for free. That's what I love about updates. That's an update I like. Good combination. This gets a thumbs up. None of them are getting thumbs down next, but this next one does. This is the the Springfield world's largest redwood content update. So of course this added the world's largest redwood tree for free, a wood chipper, and it also added us tree hugger Lisa and some character Jesse Grass returned. This gets a thumbs down. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna have to give this one a thumbs down. Didn't like this update. It was very uncreative, boring. Building the tree, it wasn't very exciting personally. You didn't get any reward apart from different skins of the tree. It's not very exciting for me, and the costume was awful. So moving on, we have the casino update. Now the casino update overall I thought was okay. It added some okay characters like Ginger Flanders, was it Ginger Simpson? I don't know. The Ginger and Amber, I think Amber anyway, added the Loch Ness Monster and all that. But overall it was kind of, there was some things I didn't like about it. But overall, although there was some faults with it and it wasn't amazing, I have to give it a thumbs up. The mini games and stuff made it a whole lot better, and they added also they didn't add the desert stuff in this one, but they added the sort of the Las Vegas kind of feel to it. And overall, I just thought, although it had some faults, it was pretty good overall. And next up, we had the Marge Chronicles episode tie-in. This added the Mars colony for 200 donuts, really ridiculous. Exploration Incorporated for free as a free building, and added us the Yellow Submarine for 65 donuts. Now overall, I'm gonna have to give this one the thumbs down just for the Mars colony. The Mars colony was a bit of a rip-off. I do like the Yellow Submarine, and the Exploration Inc. was a very meh building. It wasn't very exciting, but I guess it was free, so you can't really complain. But I will have to give it a thumbs down. It's just a little bit puts it down. Now we have the St. Patrick's Day and Easter 2016 content update. This added the Northern Irish Leprechaun and Groundskeeper Seamus, and Shredded Ned as a costume. You know, it added 3 things, which is pretty cool. Added Notre Dame of Springfield, some returning stuff, and it added, well, that was it. It had a lack of buildings, but for how St. Patrick's Day updates go, I have to give it a thumbs up. I feel like I'm giving too many thumbs up, but you know, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't an awful update, and it added some pretty cool. You know, added 2 new characters and a very mediocre skin, I'll say. Next up, we have the Crook and Ladder update. This is the Fireman update. Obviously, we added Fire Chief Mo, Fireman Homer, Fireman Harpu, and Fireman Skinner, and added us the Springfield Fire Department and some other stuff. Overall, I mean, it was okay. There were some cool things there, but overall, I'm gonna have to give it a thumbs down. Unfortunately, I didn't like it. There were some things I just felt like it was too. There was too much tasks involved, too many. It was kind of boring in a way, and you know there wasn't very much reward. They could have extended it. I feel like they could have done something else with it. Maybe, I'm not too sure. Maybe had like a whole quest line where there was fires everywhere across Springfield. I know they did like in the Quickie Mart and school and stuff, but maybe like they had the whole town on fire or something. That would have been cooler. But whatever. You know, it wasn't too bad, but there were some things in there which just put me over the edge. And next we had the Springfield cleaning content update. This of course was Gil bringing some stuff that he just wanted to throw in. So of course we had as a sort of character, we had the street cleaner, we had the Springfield greenhouse and Moe's house. They were also there as well, and some stuff. But I mean, overall it was pretty good. It wasn't, you know, there wasn't much. They added some things. I can't really say I don't like it. I'll just give it a thumbs up for now, because I added one pretty cool new character, the Spring Cleaner, which is like a sort of car. Next up we have the Wild West update. A lot of people love the Wild West update. The Wild West update achieved, I think it achieved the best update of this year. Yeah, the best update in terms of your fan votes. Added stuff like the Tumbleweed, Gummy Joe, Luke Stetson, you know, characters like that. It added the Sand, of course, as a new tile, which is brilliant. I like that. It added, you know, loads of new costumes as well, like Wes Dubner and all that. But overall, there was some faults to it. I have to say that, but I mean, I can't really say that. I still have to give it a thumbs up. It was still a brilliant update, so that still gets a thumbs up. Then we have Whacking Day 2016. I'm just going to instantly put this as a thumbs down. All it gave us was the Western Snake. Although it was free, it wasn't really necessary. They could have just thrown it in anyway, so I can't really give this a thumbs up. Or it's kind of hard even to give it a thumbs down, because, you know, they did add us a free thing, but still, I'm going to give it a thumbs down because it wasn't really much. Next up we have the level 60 content update. I'm going to give this a thumbs down. Of course, it was the very last update for ever, and the only update of that year. Level 60, it added us the Wise Guy and Lizard Queen Lisa. Many faults to this update. I thought the Googleplex thing was cool, but I feel like the level was just kind of a really, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't going out with a bang. It just sort of went out very mediocre. And this level overall, as a standalone level, was pretty bad. You know, it gave us the skin as the premium character, and it kind of ruined Duff Gardens for me. I felt like Duff Gardens should have been way bigger. It should have been huge, but they made it tiny. There were some okay decorations, and of course they gave us the mountains and stuff, which we got after we got to, you know, level 742. Basically, we got all of them. But overall, I thought it was pretty crappy. So it gets a thumbs down. Now we have Homer's Chiliad. I'm not too sure about this one, and it's sort of linked on with the donut store, the donut day guild deal. It gave us the Space Coyote and gave us the Pro Shop and the Donut Shop and the pyramid thing, a little mini game. It wasn't perfect, but it only just gets a thumbs up. Only just. I just feel like it was a bit boring, and it was kind of it wasn't very exciting. But it did have the Space Coyote. He's pretty cool, and yeah, the Pro Shop and the Donut Shop, they're also kind of cool. So I give it that, and the mini game was really cool as well. Oops, daisy. Next we have the Superheroes Update 2. So this was pretty cool as well. Obviously, the second one, it added us the Fracker, the Scoutmaster, Citizen Solar, Windlad, Charcoal Briquette, Old King Cole, Milo, and Dr. Crab, and all those other characters, Skins, Stretch Dude, and all that clobber girl. Obviously, really cool buildings as well. Orphan Alley, you know, the First Bank of Springfield, Burns' Summer Mansion, all that kind of stuff. But overall, I give it a thumbs up. There were some things, the characters. The only problem I had with this update, I feel it was really creative. The only problem for me was the characters were very low-end characters. You know, 1 episode characters, 2 episode characters. They weren't really big characters, and that's the one thing that really got me about this. But overall, I think it was pretty good. I think it was brilliant. I think the characters sort of took away from it though, but it still gets a thumbs up. Then we have 4th of July 2016. This added Teddy Roosevelt and Squawky, and it also added stuff like the decorations, and it added Springfield National Park and the Old Faithless. I think overall it added 2 characters. We know one non-playable character and a dead president. And as long as they add 2 characters in 4th of July and one of them's a dead president, I'm giving that a thumbs up, because I feel like that's like the best way to honour 4th of July personally. Last year was very meh, but this one was pretty good. I'll give it a thumbs up. Only just though, it's kind of hard, you know, to give them things. But moving on. So right, next up we have the dilapidated Railyard content update. The Railyard content. Basically, this was a takedown for the superheroes too. Well, sort of a takedown, but it gave us the felon packs for the Orphan Alley, which is a skin for the Orphan Alley. It also gave us the monorail tunnel for so we could bring the monorail into Springfield Heights. Well, we could always do it, but so it connects to Springfield Heights. Also returned all the old monorail stuff, and Lyle Lanley returned for a tiny bit as well, which was kind of cool. So you know, that was a coolish update. Overall, I give it a I give it a thumbs up, because it added the tunnel. It made us so we could actually, you know, bring it into the Springfield Heights. So it gets it for that anyway. Next up, we had the Springfield Games. This added Fatov and the Pink Collector Lisa, and some other stuff. It added you know, the go-kart track and the half pipe and all this. You know, I'm gonna have to give this a thumbs down. I thought they could have done a bigger sports update if they really wanted to. They didn't have to make it so small. They could have included this into a bigger update later on. It seemed pointless them doing this, really. And Fatov, although he's kind of cute and he's kind of funny, he wasn't really a necessary character. He could have been non-playable, really. It's weird how he is playable. And Pink Collector Lisa is a crappy damn costume. Lisa always gets crappy costumes. Then we had the Sci-Fi update. This was brilliant. They added Stephen Hawking, Sergeant Skinner, Robo Burns, Mooch Bart, President Lisa, Lady Bart, Doggy Spinvers, all that, all the robots, and Evil Home and Rockstar Maggie. Now, I had some problems with the Rockstar Maggie and, you know, the Mooch Bart and the Doggy Smithers and President Lisa. I wish they were costumes. It would have made more sense if they were costumes, in my opinion, instead of own physical characters. You know, it gave us more characters, which was kind of cool, but I just felt that they would have been better as costumes, and they would have been really, really cool costumes. But okay, they're characters, whatever. I'm not so bothered. Stephen Hawking was a really, really cool character to start the whole Sequest off. Got some really cool buildings, well, a Polyvac, you know, the future buildings, future-proofed home, soul extraction, that kind of stuff. Some really, really Rocketeer Doom and all that, you know, the future Simpsons house. Really, really cool buildings and some futuristic stuff. And it was kind of cool to do the future-themed event. I really liked it. So overall, this gets a big thumbs up. A brilliant event. I love this event. Next up, we have the season premiere 2016, Monty Burns Fleeing Circus episode tie-in content. This is for the premiere. We got Laird Lad, which was the mascot for the original mascot for Lard Lad. We got the new Lard Lad, Moe's Brewing Co., Cinnabon, you know, Springfield Bowl, Retro Lard Lad, that kind of stuff. Really cool stuff. Buck Acanos and all that, and Springfield Glen condos. Really, really cool buildings. And overall, this gets a massive thumbs up, because as far as episode tie-ins go, this was the best one we've ever had in the history of episode tie-ins. This is the best one ever. And it's kind of annoying, because I made my top 5 episode tie-ins the day before this came out. But this definitely is the #1 episode tie-in. It's just brilliant, so it gets a huge thumbs up. And then we had Halloween 2016, or Treehouse of Horror 2016. This one was really cool. It added, you know, Space Marshmallow, Death, Frankenstein, Gravedigger Billy, and the Blinky Monster. And although they're not big characters and they're quite mediocre characters, it made it, with filmmaker Lisa and the Werewolf Flanders and Crazy Iguana Lady and all that, they made it into a really, really cool. They sort of got they scraped the barrel, and they took all these like little tiny characters who didn't really mean very much, but they combined them together to make a really, really, really cool update that worked. And that's why I give it the Treehouse of Horror. I think it was brilliant. Although it didn't add very big characters, I think overall they made worthwhile of what they had, and it was a brilliant thing. So it gets a huge thumbs up from me. Next up, we had the Havana Wild Weekend event. I'm going to have to give this one, I'm going to give it a thumbs down, actually, because overall it wasn't really that exciting. There wasn't really many tasks with it. It gave us Havana Private Home, which was 60 donuts, which is kind of annoying that you had to pay for the only building and the whole thing. And it gave us a 1958 car, and that was the only free thing we could have. That was the only free thing with a skin. So overall, I don't think that's particularly very good. So I give it a thumbs down, just because they didn't add very much into it. If they added a little bit more, maybe I would have given it a bit of a higher rating. And then we have Thanksgiving 20, or the most dangerous game, or basically Thanksgiving. They added Grant Connor, Big Claw, Chum, and they added Springfield hunting supplies and some other stuff. But overall, I think it only just though gets a thumbs up because they added 3 characters, and that's kind of really, really cool. They obviously had the Cyber Monday stuff as well. So Chum and Big Claw, really, really cool characters. Grant Connor, although he's premium, he's okay. I mean, he's not amazing, but it's a very mediocre character. There wasn't very much, he's kind of small, really. But I give it a thumbs up just about. Next up, we have Winter 2016, and you guys know it's going to be a thumbs down. This added the parson, the Wiccans. It had a very paganistic theme to it, although it was meant to be Christmas. It was meant to be a Christmas celebration. They sort of ruined it and made it all paganism and stuff, and I didn't like that. They added some okay costumes, New God, Mr. Burns, and all that. And they added, like stuff like Phone Henge Kiosk and the Ball Pit, Lumber Mill, Springfield Henge. But overall, I didn't like it. I think it was awful. And of course, this concluded before the new year, actually. This was already concluded now, this update, which is kind of weird because I don't think it's the first time that it's not actually carried into the new year. Very weird. And then the final update that we got of this year, the first one which we got, the very final update we got, which we got on December 22nd, was the Shelbyville update. And I still have yet to get all this content. I've got a guy I need to speak to. But overall, it was pretty crappy, this one. Of course, it made it so you had to pay money to get the items. And it added Jebediah Springfield and Shelbyville Manhattan, which are 2 really, really cool characters. But it made you actually pay money to get them, which was very crappy. It also added stuff like the car impound lot, but overall this gets a massive thumbs down because EA tried to make us pay a lot of money for it, and that's why I didn't like it. So overall, that's the year. 20 minutes long this video is coming to. I thought it was going to be half an hour, but really I feel like there was less stuff this year than there was last year. I feel like the last video was quite long. Maybe I spoke more of each update. But yeah, overall, what did I think of the year? It was okay. It wasn't terrible. There was quite a lot of thumbs up stuff when I was going through this. I didn't think I was going to have many updates which I liked, but there are some I do like. There's just some which are very mediocre, and I only just about gave thumbs up though. That's the problem. I feel like there wasn't loads of extraordinarily good updates this year. Although I really enjoyed the Superhero 2 update, it wasn't very extraordinary. The Sci-Fi update, I would say maybe was breaching that. The Treehouse of Horror was pretty good, but overall, it's been a great year. But anyway, guys, Happy New Year. I need to go out now. Hopefully I can get this video up in time. Going to my New Year party, so I'll be celebrating. Toast a glass to me, I don't know. Have a shot for me or something. And I'll see you next year. Goodbye.